Hello, 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 everybody. I hope today finds you and yours well. I am so excited as always because I feel like every day, besides it being a new day and something to be grateful for, I feel like each of these individuals I'm bringing you is giving us the depth that we need to think of and consider when it comes to literacy. And so, if you saw the thumbnail, then you know who our person is for today. And if you do not know who that is, let me share with you right now. Before he painted masterpieces, before he designed flying machines, before he studied anatomy in secret, Leonardo da Vinci filled many notebooks, thousands of pages, questions, sketches, observations, hypotheses, reflections. He wasn't just an artist, he was relentlessly curious. Welcome back to the Literacy Reset, 30 days of raising architects. Today, we reset curiosity because why? Curiosity, when documented, becomes intellectual power. All right, so let me go ahead and make sure I am sharing the right screen. All right. Leonardo da Vinci had little formal education in Latin and classical scholarship, which limited his access to elite academic circles of his time. But that did not limit his learning. He asked questions constantly. How does a bird's wing move? How does the human heart function? How does water flow? How does light bend? And he didn't just wonder, he wrote it down. Over 7,000 pages of surviving notebooks reveal detailed and anatomical drawings, engineering concepts, scientific diagrams, personal reflections, to do list, philosophical questions. He studied the world as text. He treated observation as research. His literacy was not confined to reading books, it extended to reading reality and then translating that into language and image. Hmm. Curiosity without documentation disappears. Curiosity with documentation compounds. I want everyone to sit and think with that for a moment. And I know as speaking to others, they're like, which work do we collect and save? And, all of the things. I'll say the ones that matter, the one that shows proof of question, um, the ones that show curiosity, in depth of the content or the love of it, you'll know. And you let them be a part of that process in choosing to, right? For the keepsakes. And I actually, this is totally off gear here. I saw an ad on Facebook where there's a company that can take your child's work or pictures, whatever it is that you're putting together, and can compound it into a book so that it becomes a keepsake book. And then you can do like one for every year or so forth like that. And I thought that was really cool. It's definitely something I'm going to consider for the future. So I wanted to say that I'm not getting paid to endorse the company. I can't remember the company's name, but if you Google or, research which companies allow for you to create keepsakes, I'm sure that they will come up. So let's get into it for today's hidden principle. Curiosity must be captured to become knowledge. Many children are naturally curious. They ask questions, they explore, they experiment. But if curiosity is not structured, it fades. Leonardo built a habit of recording his thinking. Writing clarifies thoughts. Drawing strengthens observation. Labeling builds vocabulary. Questioning builds depth. Curiosity is not random energy, it is a directed attention. And literacy is the tool that preserves it. If your child asks a question and it disappears into conversation, the learning evaporates. If that question becomes a research topic, a journal entry, a sketch, a labeled diagram, the learning multiplies. Architects document before they design. Don't let that fly over you. Architects document before they design. Before I get into the application that you can do starting today, if needed be, is that even inside the roadmap intensive, I'm taking you on a journey of a series of things to define, explore, and get super clear on before we architect what that year is going to look like for your child. And so knowing their learning styles, knowing their interests, knowing their weaknesses, knowing their strengths, these are the things that you have to know concrete to be able to dive in deep and now structure what this learning looks like. What does this empowerment block look like, right? I do empowerment blocks with my son to say this is what we're laser focusing in on, and it's structured a specific type of way. And you guys who joined the homeschool studio, you guys will get that because it's going to be a part of one of the courses that's only going to be exclusive to that community. I mean, if you're inside the community, you're going to get it. I've been debating back and forth on whether or not it should go on the bigger website. If it does, then for those of you who are not in a membership, you could just pay for that class and do what you will. But it was built exclusively for the studio. So let me get back to focus here. The first thing that you can do and implement today is create a curiosity journal. I love this idea. For my fellow entrepreneurs, I would say do the same thing. Someone gave me that idea many years ago, and it worked like a charm because if you're like me, you got 1,000 ideas, and you're like, well, wait, I could do this, I could do that, da da da. What if we went this way? What if we went that way? I feel like every person needs that type of space, and you need somewhere to put it so it doesn't clog or block you from doing whatever else you got to do. Don't be an idea hopper, right? But in form for our children, though, this curiosity journal, it's not a graded notebook. Any question that they have can get written down because it's a thinking notebook. Any observation can get recorded in this notebook. It encourages for them to think, what do I notice? What do I wonder? What might explain this? What can I learn from this? How does this work? Right? Think of all of the prompts that will just automatically engage them to go deeper, to analyze, to test. 2, turn questions into research cycles. Instead of answering immediately, try, let's research that. Read multiple sources, summarize findings, write a short explanation, present what they learned. I love that one. Quick story. So in the classroom, I used to do this thing every May. And why May? Because I used to close out in May. Honey, I work from September to May. I do not do June. The last time I did June was 2024, and that was because the contract I had with the school was up until that time. Otherwise, I stayed till May, but that's another story. So anyway, Every May, I would have the students go through the things that interest them, what they have fun doing, learning, all of the things, right? And they would teach a lesson to the whole class about what that thing was. And so they would have to present, they would prepare for it. Some of them brought manipulatives in, some people brought things for us to experiment with. It's like liquid gold. It's liquid gold. Why? Because one, it was ownership of their learning, ownership of their time, and they got to share out and organize something that was really important to them to share with the rest of us. Okay. I had one student, and I will never forget, and I believe he should probably be in college by now, but he was like, I'm going to show you guys about Instagram. So I was like, what you about to show us? And sure enough, he wanted to talk about how to grow your Instagram. Y'all got to remember, these babies that are coming up in this age generation, they got different things that they're watching, taking in, and absorbing, right? And so that they're being shaped and shaping what the future is going to look like. And I love it. I love it for them because this is something that's just a part of their generation that's going to be unique to their time period. And so he was like, I'm going to show everybody how you can grow your Instagram followers to 1 million. Hold on, sweetie. Hold on. And so I'm like, okay. So he breaks it down. He talks about his content. He had grew 1 million followers, and his page was mostly about soccer. And a lot of the young boys that were in my class over the years, they all have this love for soccer. And so he was doing highlights, he was doing reels of his self and friends playing, breaking down the game, just different things. And I was like, you are onto something, my friends. I don't even have that on my own Instagram. Okay. But I loved it. And all of the children were amazed by it and intrigued. And I'm sure plenty of them went on to create their own Instagram pages, and they're doing different things. But I'm saying that is because it took something that he was interested in and sharing that with us, and putting him in a position to speak eloquently about it, right? Passionately about it, and to not fear sharing it because it was something that he was already so into. And so that allowed for him to build up his presentation skills, his orating skills, his writing skills, his display skills, because surely he had the small graphics to show us what was being laid out. It was a moment. It was a moment. And so allowing that to transpire in your classrooms, in your home schools, will only amplify their skills. Let them present. Let them present. That's going to build them a confidence that so many people are missing out on today. It'll be regal for them, like seriously. All right, next. Integrate drawing and labeling. Leonardo blended art and science, plants, machines, maps, scientific processes. All of these are things that your child can literally sketch out. I know, I'm going to laugh because people are always like, well, in school, they don't teach them to do these things. And I'm thinking, you guys just don't remember how it was taught, or your school wasn't a good school. I'm just going to say that. And so when you have children cutting out the parts of a plant, cutting out ocean animals, cutting out, body parts for digestive systems and skeletal systems, all of these things, these hands-on activities sharpens the lesson, it sharpens the knowledge, it sharpens them. Don't rule, cut, and paste. It sounds so simple, right? But it is. It's the fact that we are neurologically wired, that once we're seeing it and doing it, we're making these connections. The neurons are literally popping off with each other. It's something for us to definitely keep in mind when we're looking at the different layers of spatial intelligence. And for all of my people who are kinetic learners, or for the children who like to work independently, like I don't need a group project, though they do exist, and I respect them too. Like I don't want to work in a group, I want to just do this by myself, right? They flourish in those type of ideas, projects, and lessons. It strengthens their comprehension. If you have a child who loves art, another quick story, I had a kindergarten student who everyone thought was struggling with the different things, right? She couldn't remember these alphabets and stuff of that nature. I had a long conversation with mom. And I said, but isn't she artsy? Oh my, yeah, she just likes to draw and all these different things. I said, well, then we incorporate her art into the learning. And when we do that, watch her pick it up. So we made our own flashcards, right? And each design that she created represented an actual letter. My girl sat there and drew out her own flashcards and made them work. Okay? And then picked up on the letters and the things that she needed. Oh, I am being summoned. Hold on, you guys, in real time, because this is what parents must do. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. My assistant had felt the need. She needed to come in. No, no, no. Don't play with the pencil. Your brother has that. All right. So, where was I? Yeah. So she basically made her own flashcards with the images that she liked, using the colors that she liked, and things that these shapes and drawings that she could remember, and linked them to the alphabet. And then next thing we knew, she knew her alphabet and stuff. It was a process, but it was worthwhile because now we understood her learning style in depth. And now we knew how to shape things to meet her where she was so that she could be at her best ability. Okay. So now let's put in the last one here. Model curiosity yourself. Ask questions out loud. Research things alongside your child. Let them see you reading to answer the questions that you may actually have. Curiosity is contagious. Here is where the shift really happens. You are not just delivering information, you are cultivating inquiry. Leonardo did not become extraordinary because he was handed answers. He became extraordinary because he pursued questions. Relentlessly, he pursued questions. He documented things that were curious to him that he wanted to find out more about. And then he put down things that interested him that he just wanted to. You trying to hold on to the pencil, bro? Mm-mm. He wanted to understand more, right? And so your child does not need constant entertainment. They need structured curiosity, a place to record, a process to explore, a habit of documenting. When curiosity becomes a discipline, genius compounds quietly. I'm going to say that again. When curiosity becomes a discipline, genius compounds quietly.
Snowman, yes.
My son is making a picture as we speak. If today made you realize, okay, you guys, hold on. If today made you realize that your child's curiosity isn't being captured consistently, that's powerful insight. Inside the Offer Us Homeschool Clarity Roadmap, we walk through designing your literacy blocks that integrate inquiry, structuring research cycles, teaching documentation habits, mapping out intellectual development intentionally. This way, your child doesn't just absorb information, they investigate it. They analyze it. They think about it. They research it. They own it. They own their learning. Ladies and gents, because my two are getting ready to get very busy on me. This is the Literacy Reset. And today, we just reset curiosity. I'll see you guys in episode 8 tomorrow. Enjoy. Take care.